talk about today is our expectations about, expectations from, and expectations of Allah. In Arabic, the words used are dhann and also qadr. Following the book, The Disease and the Cure by Ibn AlQayyum Rahimahullah, we are on in the chapter of evil thoughts about Allah, or not giving Allah His due right, which he is calling su'ul dhann billah. Now, this is applicable in a wide variety of situations. First and foremost is to expect Allah to have taken a son or a daughter, to imagine and to expect that anyone has any share in the dominion, in the dominion and in the control of Allah, to expect that one can get to Allah's mercy faster by seeking intermediaries instead of going directly to Him, or to expect that anyone can save one from Allah without the will of Allah, to expect that anyone can bring harm or benefit to us without the will and permission of Allah. And this false expectation, this false estimation leads people to go to grave worship and to go through, righteous people and trying to please them and trying to, even excel and go to the extremes of worshiping them or raising them to a status that they do not deserve, and that is violating the rights of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Next is our expectations about the deen of Allah. Is the deen of Allah to limit us, to deprive us of our freedom and enjoyment, or is it because of a wisdom and for a greater good? Reflect on the discipline there is in the deen and flexibility there is. 5 prayers, once a month of fasting, right? Is it there to shun away all entertainment or fun, or only those type of entertainment that is harmful for us? Many people think, what can a smoke do for me? Let me just try it once. Let me just try drugs once. Let me just try looking at inappropriate content in relation to nudity just once. And they get hooked onto it, right? They get this pleasure, they get this disconnect from their worries, and they keep going back and back to it. It's very hard for someone who has tried it several times to now quit. So that is why you can see that the goals and the objectives of the religion is for our own growth and protection of the society. Likewise, if a hardship falls on us, what are our expectations? Does that mean Allah does not love us? Or does that mean Allah is testing us and Allah will raise our status by patience? Similarly, if good times fall on us, does that mean that we are beloved of Allah? Does that mean that everyone who has more luxury and ownership in this world is a beloved of Allah? Right? So these are all related to realistic and unrealistic, good and bad expectations from Allah. Likewise, if you do something good for the sake of Allah and the other person does not appreciate, does not return your favor, does not return your favors likewise, is not kind to you, is not appreciating you, does that mean that your efforts are going to waste? Another thing is our expectations about the justice of Allah. Is this all going to end without justice? Will the poor and the rich be equal? Will the patient one and the transgressors be equal? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in His book, وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاءَ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا بَاطِلًا ذَلِكَ ظَنُّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا فَوَيْلٌ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنَ النَّارِ. And we did not create the heaven and the earth, and that is between them aimlessly. That is a false assumption. That is the assumption of those who disbelieve. So woe to those who disbelieve from the fire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَمْ نَجْعَلُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ كَالْمُفْسِدِينَ فِي الْأَرْضِ أَمْ نَجْعَلُ الْمُتَّقِينَ كَالْفُجَّارِ. Or should we treat those who believe and do righteous deeds like the corruptors in the land? Or should we treat those who fear Allah like the wicked? So these questions are encouraging us and guiding us to think and reflect that there's a purpose behind the creation. The ones who submit and do righteous deeds, the ones who love Allah the most, will not be treated like the ones who do not. is the one who does not pay much attention and does not give much regard to the commands and prohibitions of Allah and violates it left, right, and center. What are his expectations from Allah? Is he giving Allah his due right, or the one who is negligent of Allah, his right, negligent of the hereafter, and just wandering blindly? Or the one who gives least priority to Allah and is much more concerned about how people see him? And he does not care about how Allah sees him. He's afraid of people, but is not afraid of Allah. Think about it. If someone has an amazingly high standard for creation, right, regarding the time he wakes up the kids for school, the time he's always on time, and he's right away answering certain phone calls, being on time for the meetings, serving food to children or even to pets, taking them out on a walk, but is extremely lazy when it comes to prayer times. All these things have consequences. He keeps chasing the pleasure and approval of the creation, thinking that this is how he will become rich, this is how he will become powerful, this is how he will become happy and content. And he forgets the one who created content, the one who created happiness, the one who owns all might, power, and richness.